Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cook Cook Cook. Hope you and your family are doing perfectly well. So, what we'll be cooking today is a curry that is commonly prepared in Kerala and in a lot of Malayali houses. So, let's go and see the process of making a delicious Ulli Theeyal. Let's look at the ingredients required to make our Ulli Theeyal. So our primary ingredient is the ullis or sambar onion. So we have about 250 grams of sambar onion, and along with that I also have 3 green chilies and about 3 mid-sized tomatoes chopped and about half a cup of grated coconuts, and we will also be using about 10 cloves of garlic and 1 small onion and a small piece of tamarind or a little bit tamarind, say the size of a small gooseberry, and we also have about 1.5 tablespoons of coriander seeds, about 1 teaspoon of fenugreek or methi seeds, and we have about 6 red chilies, and we will also be using cumin or jeera and a little bit of mustard and turmeric and cooking oil and salt. So these are the ingredients that we'll be using to make our Ulli Theeyal. So now we can go into the process of making the curry. To get started with our preparation, I have my pan on the stove, so into which I will put in a little bit of coconut oil, say about half a teaspoon of coconut oil. After the oil has started getting hot, we will put in a 1.5 tablespoon of coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of fenugreek and half a teaspoon of jeera or cumin, and we will have to dry roast them. So in like 2 or 3 minutes you will get the smell of the roasting coriander seeds, methi and jeera. So that is when we will turn off the stove and transfer this to our mixer. So this is done and we can transfer this over to the mixer to be ground. After the coriander seeds, the methi and jeera have been transferred to the mixer to be ground, we will add another half teaspoon of coconut oil, and as soon as the oil is hot we will add our 6 red chilies. So this also has to be roasted a little, and once your chilies have roasted and you are able to smell the roasting chilies, then we will turn off the stove and transfer the chilies also to the same mixer. After the chilies have been transferred to the mixer, we will add another half teaspoon of oil. Once the oil is slightly heated, we can add our grated coconuts. This is about half a cup of grated coconuts. Once the moisture in the coconut has reduced a little, we will add our roughly chopped onions. This is 1 small onion roughly chopped and our garlic. While the coconuts are roasting here, so we need this to cook until it is golden brown. So until then we will get the other ingredients that were already in our grinder ground to a paste. Our initial ingredients, that was the coriander seeds, the methi seeds, the jeera and red chilies, have been ground, and we will add our coconut also to this. So you can see that it is dark and golden right now. So this is where we will add this to the mixer to be ground, along with which we will be adding the small piece of tamarind that we had taken as well. So I put the tamarind in, followed by our coconuts that has been dry roasted. To the same pan in which we roasted our ingredients initially, I will add about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Once the oil is hot, we'll add about half a teaspoon of mustard. So once the mustard begins to splutter, we will add a little bit of curry leaves. So this is about 2 sticks of curry leaves. Immediately we can add in our green chilies. This is 3 green chilies, followed by our onions. So this is 250 grams of sambar onions. We'll have to cook the onions until they become soft. And while the onions are cooking, we will add about half a teaspoon of salt. We will check the salt while we are cooking and add more if required. Our onions are about half done now, so we will add in our tomatoes. So this is 3 mid-sized tomatoes, roughly chopped. Now that our tomatoes have completely cooked and our onions are also cooked, so we'll add about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Give it a quick mix. After you have mixed this well, it is now time for the onions to meet the initial masala that we had ground in the mixie. The masala was ground in the mixie and we added about half a cup of water to it. After you have poured in the masala, just pour another half cup of water into the mixer and pour the water as well into our pan. So we have sufficient gravy for our rice. Mix this well and let it come to a boil. After we had added our ground masalas into the onions and tomatoes that were cooking in this pan, I had given it a good mix and closed the pan, and it has been cooking for the last 10 minutes now, because all the masalas that we had included were raw and it did require some time to get ready to be served. So I also checked the salt. So overall we have about 1 teaspoon of salt in this, the half that we added, and we added another half later. So our Ulli Theeyal is now ready. I had covered the lid. It's not required, but I covered because we could avoid the spluttering of the hot masalas. So our Theeyal is ready. So now I will serve this out so we can get it served to our family who's enjoying their rice meals. You can now see that our Ulli Theeyal is ready to be served with lunch. So do try it at home and let us know what you feel about this recipe. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day.